Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. Megan here, the Healing Foods Coach, and I hope you're all doing well on this wonderful Thursday. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I had a long, hard think about it and decided that today's topic is going to be on exercise. What sort of exercise should we try to do? How much? How much is too much? And I will try to answer those questions as best as I possibly can. So, first of all, I just want to put out there that you do not have to be able to exercise or even have great mobility to find success on an animal-based diet, whether that is keto, carnivore, low carb, ketovore, or somewhere in that spectrum of a proper healing human diet. You do not have to be able to exercise to have success. I lost 100 pounds in my first 6 months of eating this way, and I was still in a wheelchair and had very limited mobility, and I still had great success as far as the weight loss was concerned. So I say that because I know there are many of you out there who are in positions of basically you have limited mobility, whether that is because you're carrying excess weight or perhaps you have excess weight and you may be dealing with an autoimmune condition, chronic illness, chronic pain and inflammation, such as I had with fibromyalgia. If you are not able to move at this point or very little, if you cannot get out and exercise, that is okay. Start with changing your diet, and I promise you the rest will come. As you reduce your carbohydrates, as you cut out sugar, as you eliminate junk food and seed oils from your diet, you will see the weight start to come off. You will start to feel better. You will have less inflammation. You will have less pain, and you will have more interest and desire in getting around. Okay. Want that to be said first and up front and out of the gate. All right. Now, let's say you've been following this way of eating for a while, and hopefully things are going well. You're starting to see some of the weight come off. Your energy levels are coming up. You have better mental clarity. Your brain fog is gone. And now you want to start to be a bit more active. And if you're like me, one of the questions you're going to ask is, so what kind of exercise should I do? My first recommendation would be think of things you think you would enjoy doing and start doing that. Okay, so if the idea of going to the gym and getting on the weight machines or even just working with free weights like fills you with dread, or you have absolutely no interest in that, you don't have to do it. Don't do it. If the idea of taking a nice walk, whether it's for a longer distance or it's just a short distance, maybe half a mile, and you want to enjoy a nice comfortable stroll and enjoy nature around you, take some time to meditate, do that. Okay. And the reason why I say that is we're looking at wanting to heal. Most of us who've come to this space have come here because we needed to heal something. We needed to heal from being overweight or obese. We needed to heal from being pre-diabetic or even diabetic. We needed to heal from probably high blood pressure, hypertension, probably most likely metabolically unhealthy, insulin resistant, and perhaps a whole host of other issues, gut issues, from IBS to colitis or celiac disease. We typically come to this space and end up here because we have something we're trying to heal from, and a standard Western diet has not helped us in any way. And that's why we have eliminated and we've come to this point in our lives. So we want to heal. And so that means trying to find, when I say exercise, I do not mean you have to spend hours at the gym every single day. And in fact, doing that is probably not going to help you in the long term, because if you're doing intense exercise consistently every single day without giving your body a break, you are, yes, you're going to feel the dopamine and the endorphins raise, which is always good, but you're also going to be raising your cortisol levels. That is going to actually end up putting you into a state of your body into a state of stress And when you're in that state of stress, in fight or flight mode, it will not release excess body fat. It will not burn off the fat. It thinks that you are trying to run and escape from an actual threat, and therefore you need all the fat you have stored on you kept there for energy, so that in an emergency situation you can flee the fight or flight. Your brain doesn't understand the difference between the anxiety and stress because you're about to be chased by a big tiger versus anxiety and stress because your workload has become too much, or you have a life challenge, something with your partner or your child. The brain doesn't know the difference. So since you're not actually trying to flee from danger, such as a tiger about to attack you, your body reacts in the same way, but that means your body's in fat storage mode. It would be the same response of if you're in fight or flight because there's been, let's say, there's no food to be found and you have not eaten for several days, your body goes into that emergency mode setting in order to keep the fat stored on you so that you do not starve to death, which is great if that is a situation you end up in. But for most of us, especially in the Western world, that is not what we want. We are trying to get rid of the fat. We're not trying to hang on to it and keep it with us. We want to get rid of it because it's more than what our bodies need. Okay, so what does that mean? Do we need to run out and do massive amounts of cardio? Do we need to start taking up running and jogging and doing all the CrossFit aerobic stuff, that happens at the gym? No, not at all. Now, I will say, there is not necessarily anything wrong with you doing that a couple times a week that I'm aware of, okay? If you're doing it a few times a week and you enjoy it and you are motivated because it helps you feel better, I say go for it. However, keeping in mind, the more intensely you are exercising, the more you are having to breathe hard and raise your heart rate and getting it into an aerobic state, the more you're going to also raise the cortisol levels. So what does that leave you with? Well, if you do, in fact, look forward to the thought of lifting free weights or using weight machines, you're in luck. You know why? Because these things are actually quite good for your body. It helps you build up your muscle mass and density and strengthens your bones. And that's amazing. Now, what do you do if you want to have stronger muscles, if you want to have stronger bones, but you really just don't like the idea of going to the gym? Well, you might want to consider swimming. Swimming some laps a few times a week, super gentle on the joints, really good for just strengthening your muscles. And honestly, I think probably a bit more relaxing. Now, unless you're somebody who is trying to get into competitive swimming, it's a time to just go and you can get your fitness levels up without putting the strain on your body. And for some of us who are coming from a background of chronic pain and illness and perhaps injury, that's probably the safest thing to be doing. Right. That's one good option. And that reminds me, I will have some prescription swim goggles in a couple of weeks, and I am going to be dipping my toe in the community pool near us in a couple of weeks' time and start getting back into just swimming 2 or 3 times a week. I'm going to aim for 10 laps. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. Just something to build strength and stamina without putting extra pressure on the joints. Okay? The other thing you might want to consider is riding your bike if you have one. You don't have to start training for the Tour de France. Okay? My plan, because I'm just waiting to get my mountain bike roadworthy, is just to ride it to the leisure center where the pool is. It's about 1.5 miles from my house, which is not that far. But as the weather gets colder, I'm probably going to be less inclined to want to walk that distance regularly. And therefore, it'll be nice to have the bike on hand. That's going to be my goal. Once or twice a week, just ride my bike through the lower park, which is part of the castle property, which is what you see behind me. So they have grounds down below, like at the bottom of the hill, there's grounds. And if you follow the paths, you'll end up at the leisure center where the pool is. So you can ride your bike there. My goal is to try to get out once or twice a week on the mountain bike. Just a different way of giving my muscles something to strengthen them, get them moving, get the blood flowing, get all those good endorphins going, as well as the dopamine, without the strain that comes from running or jogging or, intense exercise every single day, the cardio stuff that can actually become more detrimental than it is helpful. Now, if you're not there yet, you don't have a bike, you're not quite ready to get in a pool, that's totally fine. Obviously, every time we move, even just now, just standing, I know I talk with my hands a lot, but even just moving my arms around, even when I shift my position, that is movement. Now, does it count as exercise? Am I raising my heart rate? Probably not. But the movement itself, every time we move our arms and our legs, even a little bit, it helps bring up our endorphins and our dopamine levels to a good place. So we have those feel-good hormones going through our body and our brain, which are so important. And if all you can manage to do right now is you get off the sofa and you walk to the other end of your home, depending on how the house is laid out. Maybe that means you walk up and down the stairs a couple of times, bringing up clean laundry, bringing down the dirty laundry. There, you've exercised, you've moved. And sometimes that's where we need to start. And that is absolutely okay. Now, again, I want to emphasize that this way of eating will absolutely help you lose weight, even if you cannot move. If you were in a wheelchair like I was, or if you're in constant, chronic, agonizing pain and you can barely get out of bed, that's okay for now. Right now, focus on the diet. Focus on healing yourself, letting the good, proper nutrition that we need as humans to heal your brain, calm down your nervous system, help improve your mental clarity and your focus. That's where we need to start. And that's what I had to accept. Okay. When I first started, my primary goal was I got to lose this weight. I was 100 pounds overweight, more than I'd ever weighed in either of my 2 pregnancies. Okay. And so all I wanted was to lose weight. I would have been happy if I'd seen 10 pounds total come off. At least that's what I told myself. And so when I finally got rid of the carbohydrates and I'd cut out the sugar and I eliminated the junk food and I could start feeling a little bit more energy and a bit more focus and a bit more positive. And then it was insane. Within the first week, I lost 7 pounds. Now that is not typical. Okay. And most of that was water weight because I was retaining a lot of water. But once it started, it just kept going. And I did not exercise once. I couldn't. That's how bad my fibromyalgia pain was. And so if that's where you are and you are not able to move a whole lot and you're certainly not able to put in an exercise program, that is okay. Get the diet on straight first, and I tell you the rest will follow. And if you want more information, if you want some more coaching on this, go to my website because that's what I do. I help people through these steps as they get better, as they heal and improve, not just their physical health from, losing weight perspective, but also just feeling more energy, feeling less pain, feeling more awake and alert. And what I found was that as the more I healed, the more I wanted to try to move a bit more, the more I wanted to try to put daily movement into my life. And for quite a time, that involved just doing some very, very simple, gentle yoga stretches to help ease the pain in my lower back. That's all I could manage. And that was okay. It was changing the diet and losing the extra weight that helped me to have enough healing and pain reduction to be able to want to move a bit more. Now, again, I did not start walking outside of the house for another 3 years. because I was still healing. And so that may take time. And the reason why I want to say that is, yes, it's important, I think, for our good mental health, as well as just our overall physical health, to move somehow every day. And if all you can do is stand up for 30 seconds and shake or do a twist or stretch your arms, that is still something. You are still moving. Start with that. Okay. Now, if you're someone who's always been healthy and relatively fit, and you've come to this way of eating because you have other things you're healing, you're not coming from a chronic pain background, maybe you already go to the gym regularly. Fantastic. Keep going. I would suggest, and again, if not just me, watch some of Bart Kay's videos, because he is like the guy for this stuff. But you don't need to focus so much on the cardio. In fact, that will probably cause you more detriment than it will help. And also, as somebody else who I respect in this space, who has talked about this herself from her own healing and health journey, is Dr. Elizabeth Bright. And that is work on building your core strength, strengthening your muscles, absolutely. But you don't want to overdo the cardio, because you then, again, as I mentioned, you end up raising your cortisol, you end up burning out. And so what happened, the reason I mention this is because, as I've shared with you guys, I made a promise to myself that I would get up every single morning, basically forever, and walk 4 solid miles, which seemed like a good plan at the time. And there's nothing wrong. It's not an extremely long distance overall. I've walked further. But what I came to realize is that I was trying to do too much at once, and I wasn't listening to my own body. So I can walk 4 miles every now and then, and it doesn't seem to bother me. But to do it every single morning, even though I was having some twinges, even though my muscles were telling me, hey, I need a break, I was pushing through. I was pushing through, and I was pushing through. I was more punishing myself with that much exercise. And I was walking. I was speed walking, but I was walking. I wasn't jogging. I wasn't running. There was no, impact like you would get from running on the pavement. But I was pushing my body too far and too much, to the point where I had a couple of times where I couldn't go out. I had to take a day off, which you should do anyways, okay, for that kind of intensity. So I did 4 miles. I came home, I had breakfast, walked the dogs, 2 more miles. And then I would walk another 2 miles throughout the day. What I realized was I was trying to put on too much at once. And I'm just starting to get to a place where I can stand for 30 minutes or so, and I don't have pain in my back, which is massive for me after my back injury. But I was doing too much, and I was ignoring the signals my body was sending me, which is, hey, I'm a little sore, I'm a little stiff, you've pulled me a bit here, I need a day off to break. And when I had a forced day off, because one, we were out of town, so I couldn't do my regular route, fine. And the other time I had to take the day off because it was absolutely sheets of rain that were coming down. And it was just awful. There were storm warnings and everything. I wasn't willing to risk my life to walk in a storm like that. Okay. Just being honest here. But I felt more guilt at missing my 4-mile morning walk than anything else. And I realized, you know what? This is not how it should be. I should enjoy getting up and taking a walk if the day is nice, if the weather's good. I should be able to enjoy breaking up my walking in smaller chunks throughout the day without feeling bad, just knowing I am moving, I'm still getting the good dopamine levels, I'm still getting the endorphin hit. I don't have to push myself to this extreme, and I'm going to end up just hating it. And that's never a good place to be. So I wanted to make this video to say, first of all, if you cannot move a lot, and if you can't do any sort of formal exercise, you don't have to. That is okay. Okay. If you're at a place where you are still very sick and inflamed and in pain, then don't. Work on the diet, get the other stuff out of your body, let yourself start to heal, and then you'll I think what you'll find is as your mind clears, as your vision of clarity becomes better, as you are more focused, as you feel stronger and healthier and more alive, you're going to just want to move more because you have the energy to, because you are feeling less pain, and therefore it will come on its own naturally, and that you don't have to overdo it. And that exercise should be something that we do because we enjoy it. It's pleasurable. It's not torture. It's not punishment. It's not something we're doing because, oh my gosh, I have to do this. It's, I want to do this right now. I'm going to go do this. That's how it should be. Okay. I think it was Dr. Barry who said in one of his videos that exercise should be fun. Like go out and play go out and play. Whether that's playing softball out back with your kids, or a game of soccer or football, as we call it here, whether that's, walking around the block with your loved one, taking the dogs with you, whatever it is, it should be something that we enjoy so that we actually want to do it regularly, because that's where the benefit's going to come in. Not because, oh my God, I have to get up, I have to go to the gym. Oh my God, I have to get up, I have to do my 4 miles and then my 2 miles and then I got to do 4. No. Okay. So if anything, I'd like to share with you the lesson I've learned the hard way, which is start with something small and achievable. Of course, feel free to build up to it if you can. But the moment your body starts to tell you, hey, this doesn't feel great right now, or you're finding it really hard to get up and keep going, maybe you need to step back a little. Okay. And that is okay. And you do not feel bad for any of that, because we got to listen to our bodies. We've ignored our bodies for all this time up till now. Now's the time to listen to them. Right. Anyways, you guys, thank you so very much for all of your attention. Sorry about the background. I'm having some technical difficulties today. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of your kind words and your comments. And I am so thankful for all of you who subscribe and follow me here. Like I said earlier, if you want some one-to-one support for, of course, eating a healing diet, one that is, yes, animal-based, but that can include certain vegetables within certain settings, depending on what you tolerate or don't. If you would like to know more, please check out the website and book a session with me. I still have some spaces available for the fall session. Would love to work with you. And if you've been doing this for a while, but you need a little encouragement, or maybe you're feeling stuck and you're not quite sure how to change it up or keep it going, get in touch. I'd love to work with you as well. In the meantime, guys, I thank you for all of your wonderful support. Really does mean everything to me. Thank you for all your kindness and your good words. And I will be back tomorrow with more content. Absolutely. Appreciate everything that you guys do by leaving your kind words and comments. And I've said that. I'm sorry. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. I will be back tomorrow with more content, and I look forward to sharing something new with you tomorrow. All the best. Enjoy your Thursday. Bye for now.